On the farm tonight, there's a threat to the U.S. food supply you might not have heard of. It's a shortage of farm and large animal veterinarians. That shortage being felt right here in Virginia. WFXR's George Noliff has the story.
Hey babies. Oh yeah.
For Dr. Hannah Varnell, professional life means house calls, or should we say barn or pasture calls. This is the way she makes her living as a large animal veterinarian with Well Farm Vets.
So cows or anything that's had a baby so far.
But these days, there is a shortage of large animal or food animal vets like Dr. Varnell in Virginia, and that is troubling.
Food animal veterinarians play a huge role in the economy because our food supply is dependent on the health and welfare of these animals.
From a farmer's point of view, it's really hard to find any large animal vets, particularly ones that can come out when you need them.
So why the shortage? Well, experts say there are a few reasons, and money is a big one. Small animal vets make more on average, and their hours are more stable. A large animal vet can be called out at any hour, day or night. And then there are the physical concerns.
You have to find a particular type of veterinarian that's interested and willing to do this work. It's hard, physically. I've only been practicing for a couple years, but I have mentors and people who I know who have multiple shoulder replacement surgeries, so it's physically laborious, it's dangerous. Any farmer, producer that you've talked to also knows the dangers of working with large animals.
While there's been an improvement in recent years, the numbers are still off.
In recent years, it has gotten a little better. We do have a few more veterinarians that will do large animal work than we did, say, 5-6 years ago. But with the number of farming operations in this region, we likely are still in somewhat of a shortage of large animal veterinarians.
Despite the challenges, Dr. Varnell says treating large animals is what she chooses to do. Not just for the animals, but for people too.
So the veterinarians are the boots on the ground and the mud on the farm to make sure that the product that gets to the consumer is safe, has good welfare, appropriate welfare standards for USDA and FDA regulations, and that we're actually preventing any major disease outbreaks that could cripple the economy. I just love what I do, and so to me, it's offset. Even though I'm not making the big bucks that the small animal veterinarians are making, I love what I do.
Here's another factor affecting the number of farm and large animal vets: student loans. A report by the Farm Journal Foundation finds that a lot of new vets coming out of school are going into small animal medicine because it's more lucrative, sometimes paying double or triple what farm vets can make. And they can make those loan payments easier while making a living. However, there are programs that will assist with those large animal loan payments that the vets have to make. More programs are being developed, including on the state level. The Virginia Farm Bureau taking part in that lobbying effort in Richmond, Drew.
So what accounts for the disparity in wages between a small vet and, the large animal vets?
A few things. First, the nature of the medicine. Small animal vets usually treat pets. People have an emotional attachment to pets. They seek out routine care. They will pay top dollar for medical care for their pets. While large animal vets treat individuals, they're essentially treating the herd. All right, so there can be emotional attachments between farmer and animal, but those animals are commodities. And from an economic standpoint, it may make sense for the farmer to not treat the animal, to provide treatment on its own, put the animal down, sell it at market. The other issue, geography. Rural areas, generally wages are lower than they are in urban areas, more populated areas.
Yeah, so they have all those issues like she was talking about. They can throw their hips out, throw their shoulders out, and then they get paid less money too.
Get paid less money, and that's not the first time I've heard it from vets. I've heard it from farmers. You're dealing with a large animal that has a mind of its own, and sometimes you just get in the way.
Well, we definitely appreciate the work that they do.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, George, thank you.